Hello everyone, this is Migo Hunter, and today we have an Exceed match, Jungy's Japes round 2, between Chykka and Picklesword. Both players did lose their first game, so now they're both fighting for a much needed win. Okay, so this is pretty exciting. So first of all, Chykka's roster is Lichy, Cyrus, Tager, and Picklesword's roster is... Oh, I see that Koi did get stuck. Okay, anyway, the yes, so Chica's roster is Lichy, Cyrus, Tager, and Picklesword's roster is Carl, um, who's the other two? Treasure Knight, Cammy. Yep. So indeed, the first game is Lichy versus Carl. So this is the first time we'll get to see Picklesword's Carl Clover. This is really exciting because Carl Clover I consider pretty hard to play and hard to do well on because yeah, if you know me, I always complain about Carl because I brought Carl last tournaments and he won some games off of like I think people that didn't know the matchup, but I felt like Carl isn't a good character despite his stats that he can gain when he sandwiches people because it's very hard to set up and his doll can be flipped if the opponent his attack isn't within range of the doll. So those are like pretty big issues that Carl has. The need for setup and the vulnerability of the doll. But Carl does have a lot of power, that is for sure. Alright, so game one, Chykka going to Lichy. I think Chykka likes going Lichy game one usually. And I didn't expect Carl game two, but I guess Carl does. Maybe he wanted to. Maybe he was fine going against Lichy or Tager with Carl. I don't think Cyrus is good against Carl. I mean, I don't think Carl's going to get Cyrus because Carl struggles against zoners, I think. But yeah. Okay, turn one Chica preps. Just wanted to get more cards. Maybe Carl can use the opportunity to cross in or take some initiative because take advantage of Lichy's slow speed. Often Carl, I think, likes to cross in or dive in turn one just to get in and also start moving the doll up. Because Carl has some combo cards like Volante, um, Cantabile, stuff to help set up the sandwich. Okay, that's really interesting. So it doesn't move to range 1, instead chooses to move to range 3 instead. Hopefully he remembered that the Mantembo gives Lichy extra range, and which might pose a problem. But I guess he is from range 3, he is threatening the very real threat of Cantabile. Carl's range 3 game is very good because of Cantabile. He can also set up stuff like cheeky spikes or dives or he has plenty of Carl has a good range 3 game, so actually moving one space forward is actually I quite like this. So now Chykka prepping turn 1 as Lichy, usually something you don't see too often, so maybe he's just not sure what to do with his hand right now. Maybe he takes Mantembo off the board and plays a range 3 mix-up, or just choose to move Mantembo. Moving Mantembo would cause him to overdraw though, because as an action, Lichy may also okay, all right, puts the Mantembo on the board and moves to range 1. Interesting. So Lichy is kind of a puppet character herself, where she could do some tricky setups with her Mantembo. She can teleport to it, she can strike from it. So Lichy is like oddly enough, it's sort of like a battle between Puppet versus Puppet. I think Carl can get higher payout, but Litchi has a better neutral. And of course, is not reliant on Nirvana, or not relying on her staff as much as Carl's relying on Nirvana to do good damage. Usually, so yeah, staff behind Litchi is unusual because it doesn't behind staff behind Litchi doesn't really help her a lot. Interesting. So he spends Confoco to advance past Litchi and strike. Moving on top of the Mantembo. I don't know if he wants to risk that. Because if Litchi does manage to hit Carl and pops the Mantembo, gives her extra +1 power. Okay, so I think decides not to step on the Mantembo. I think for good reason. Oh, no, it's risking it. Wait, I don't know why he pinged the Nirvana. You're not supposed to announce you're striking from which side anyway. Both the doll and Carl are range 2. This could be a few things. It could be Cantabile for advantage. It could be Confoco for another Confoco for advantage. Um, Not the other range 1 specials, but it could just be a normal. Okay, so it is a Cantabile. Literally just plays a block. Was willing to take the risk of getting spiked. So this is only 2 damage. So this block completely negates it, but he can get a good reposition. Strike again. Oh, Tsubame on defense will be 4 damage, which is not enough to. So Carl just takes 2 and Litchi takes 4. Yeah, puts the Mantamo back on top of him. And now it goes back to Litchi's turn. Focus is indeed a very good normal for Carl because it prevents him from being moved by the opponent. And of course, it's one of the best normals in the game. Litchi preps. I guess Pickle's reasoning for being on top in tempo is that he can't really stop Litchi from um, moving Mentembo on top of him. It's Litchi gets as action gets moved from Mentembo 2 spaces as per the things on the card. Yeah, Litchi can move Mentembo 1 or 2 spaces. So whether or not Carl's actually on Mentembo or not, it's not really going to matter too much because Litchi can easily just reposition the staff. And of course, and it seemed like Pickle sort of wanted to be at range 2. Okay, boost spike. So at this range, Carl is threatening. The main 2 threats are Con Anima and Con Brio. Con Brio, the 8 speed, 4 damage DP, pretty good. Con Anima is the one that breaks guard. Obviously, the spike boost is not going to help. The spike boost is going to um, help. I think, yeah, the spike boost is actually still good though because basically Chykka can play a mid speed and not care too much about Con Brio. because she can still, well, she won't get stunned with the spike boost, and she can strike back. Okay, both sides of 7 cards. Carl is in a pretty good position, but at the same time, Carl is on top man tempo, so he has to watch out. You know, in my rants on Discord when I talk about how bad Carl is, Picklesword was um, one of the people in Discord that was like, no, I think Carl's pretty good actually. So almost hoping that he wins just to prove me wrong. And I could be missing something with Carl. I probably my playstyle maybe doesn't match with Carl. Like I like being aggressive, and Carl probably doesn't facilitate being aggressive that much until he gets properly set up at least. So it could be just be a playstyle mismatch, and other people can play Carl better than I. Okay, just spends 2 force to get out the sandwich. Makes sense. Of course, Carl has a couple things he can do here. He can grass to put him back in the sandwich. He can spend force or to crawl to sit in the corner. Okay, Carl's striking. Could be a grasp, could be a slow. Oh, nice, it's a dive. Focus was to beat potential grass, and dive is the counterplay. Chykka only takes Chykka misses, but only takes 2 damage. But he sets himself up pretty nicely. I do really like the dive actually. Focus usually such an amazing normal, just beats fast, just can trade well with slows. But against dive and spike, it is weak to those. So now the sandwich is set up. Chykka could still do stuff here though. Nirvana is not a range 1. Range 1 is what unlocks her fastest option, her range 8 option. At range 3, Nirvana can really only play Volante and Confoco, which Confoco at 5 speed couldn't be, has, it's not the safest. Can potentially be flipped. Does literally have an option to flip Nirvana at range 3 that's fast enough though. Oh yeah, Renchan. Yeah, she could play Renchan to flip Nirvana if she really wanted to. Or even Assault. No, Assault wouldn't do. Assault wouldn't do. Well, Assault would be able to outspeed and stun Confoco on defense. So yeah, we'll see. Nirvana is kind of like sitting out of the way at range 3, so she can actually maybe play some attacks without getting flipped. Even without access to Conbrio or Conanima. Carl It's pretty important that Carl has 3 gauge right now, actually, because he can threaten Rhapsody Memories, which is one of his best ultras. Which is good as a reload, good for damage, and Nirvana cannot be flipped. Prevents the main form of counterplay, which is playing a fast attack to flip Nirvana. Okay, Litchi strikes. Again, with a Mantemo behind her, she can't really do much with Mantemo behind her. Though she can teleport to it. Maybe it's possible she's trying to cross out here. Carl is in a very good position. Maybe she's just playing grass to get him out of the corner so that he doesn't get a sandwich. Okay, so it is a sweep. So she can choose, obviously she probably choose to hit Carl instead of flipping Nirvana. Ooh, knocks out Cantabile, unfortunately. But we'll be able to Carl will be able to trade. Carl hits back for 3, pushes her 1, and can move Nirvana up the tree spaces. A good catch for power. Yep. Okay, so there's an even trade. Carl does lose a card and gets to place Nirvana right next to her, which is great for him. All right, so that was Litchi's attack. So now it's Carl's turn. Carl's striking, now threatening a dangerous 50-50. Konanima would be the high reward option, but risky. But it could also just be Conbrio, just do 4 damage, 8 speed, and just shove her in the corner. Litchi may actually be in trouble. Well, it is a dangerous mix-up. Okay, wall swings, played the safe fast option. I think it makes sense here because Litchi is running out of slow options. I think block, sweep, focus are already all down. Litchi didn't want to guess, just wall swing, and just eats 4. Losing a cross is kind of bad though. Without cross, can be tough for her to retreat without spending force. Carl has just essentially just sat himself in a very nice spot. Skittle, Litchi now putting her Mantemo on top of Carl, can play games of her own. Interesting. Cross is completely out of the corner. Gets out of the way of the Mantemo, but loses the sandwich in the process. Rather not want to deal with the staff and the +1 power and advantage chain it could potentially do. Okay, the rule of thumb versus Litchi I've learned is that she has like millions of ways to beat sweep. Either she crushes the guard of sweep or causes sweep to whiff. So it's really not a good idea to play sweep against her. Okay. As an action, she put Mantemo on top of her, then moves Mantemo 3 on top of Carl to take an action, And now we'll set up a potentially deadly combo chain. Carl has to figure out how to survive this. Okay, Renchan. Focus will whiff, but at least uh, Pickle will be able to armor through it a little bit and draw a card. Yep, gains advantage, places Mantembo on top of him. Maybe playing a second Renchan would be actually be quite safe here. If Carl has a both Cantabiles down for Carl, that is unfortunate. That does make Renchan safe. Both 13 orphans are down, but I shouldn't tell him that. It's just another Renchan. It's just good. Cantabiles down, just chaining advantage, chaining damage. Yep, it is indeed 5. Just removes it, place it back. And advantage. Gaining damage engaged. Now at 5 gauge, she can try in some ultras as well. Or even play for overdrive. Or overdrive gives her um, plenty of speed and mobility on the staff. Well, not plenty of speed, but +1 speed. It's good enough. Enables some dangerous set play. Putting Mantem on top of her gives her extra speed on all her options. Or you punch us the wrong way, just put Mantem to chase them and threaten some scary stuff. So this was originally a very good position for Carl, but now I think he may be in trouble. Maybe it was better for Carl to sit in the corner after all. After all, the red chance are basically rendered useless if the opponent's at range 1. Okay, for forgoes to Confoco, just advances 2 away from Ntembo. But it's not really going to matter too much unless Carl has good range 1 threats because, yep, the overdrive goes off. She can teleport to the center of the board, or she can just put Mentem on top of her, depending on what she wants to be range 1 or 2 against Carl. And now any attack she sets, okay. It's retreating 1 space to strike. Trying to play a range 3 mix-up. Most likely it is. None of our specials make too much sense here. All greeds are down. So this could definitely just be... This seems like just a range 3 normal to me. Or it could just be, or actually, you know what? It could just be a second all green. Just retreat one into all green. All green would be 7 power. Yep. But stun out the sweep. Very brutal hit. Alright, overdrive. Now she could put Bentamo anywhere instead of for a future strike. If she puts Bentamo behind Carl, could set up for a good unarmed lunge. Actually, no, unarmed lunge only works. Unarmed lunge also should be okay. Though the pushback from Conbrio actually would make unarmed lunge with. Okay, retreats to full board. Now threatening robbing the Kong or 4 wins, which is both of her so-called zoning options. So it's 13 orphans, but she already spent both for force. It's tricky for Carl here, to be honest. I think Chykka happy to just maintain this position, because if Carl strikes, she can just play any of her zoning specials into him. She can't. Carl unfortunately can't even play his fireball, Nirvana fireball safely because, um, if need be, Lichy can just flip Nirvana over. And Picklesword did drop both Confocos, so Volante is Nirvana's only range option. Picklesword boosting Armor Guard. Again, it's not really going to help him too much though. Chykka giving him some time though, just prepping. Maybe Picklesword can take advantage of this. Even though Lichy's sitting at range 6 and also range 4 from your doll with both Confocos down. It's kind of tough. Wait, is he really striking? Striking is just asking for Nirvana to get flipped. That's all that's going to happen. But even Nirvana's flipped, Volante does have some built-in movements that Carl could take advantage of. But yeah, see, this is the problem I have with Carl. Is if Carl has you trapped, then if the opponent has enough force or movement to just flee to the other end of the board, it's very hard for Carl to get properly set up again. If this is just any Lichy special, okay. Odd choice, Konanima. I guess he's just expecting to whiff. Only takes 2 2 damage though because of the armor. But yeah, this is Konanima really wasn't beating anything unless yeah, Konanima was literally wasn't beating anything. If she wanted to play robbing the Kong, then she could just flip Nirvana. You know, robbing the Kong was not probably not likely anyway because literally willingly teleporting herself into the sandwich is something that probably won't happen. Because that was Carl's strike, so now Litchi can continue striking and gaining advantage because Carl's on top of Mantembo now. Okay, just boosting power makes plenty of sense. I think this telegraphs a block here. Yep. Okay, so this is a second 4 wins for 6 damage. If she decides to remove Mantembo, or she may just keep it just for the threat. Doesn't have to spend force for it though. Okay, decides to push Carl. Okay, discards one of his ultras to take nothing. Keeps the Mantembo there. And now it is Lichi's turn. Lichi still has range options. She can rob the Kong. That was in the Pickle Strike, yeah. She can rob the Kong. 13 orphans are both down, but she may choose to reshuffle. Okay, so Carl's striking again. Is this another block? Surely can't be anything else because she's just gonna rob the Kong into a lot of damage. Unless it's a focus. Okay, it is another block. Okay. You have to validate the special first. Okay, won't spend for any power. Spends cross to validate. And plays Bantempo on top of Carl. Okay. Carl spends force to take nothing. And now, hooray! Picklesword got the sandwich. However, he is down substantial amount of life and loan cards. Wait, that was that Carl strike? The block? Am I wrong? Okay. Yeah. So it is indeed Lichi's turn. Now she has to decide what to do. Choose to boost sweep. Makes sense. If Carl threatens with his 3 gauge Ultra Rhapsody, um, she can cross out. Actually, you know what? She also can just try. She can probably just play 9 speed Tsubame. That's what's going to happen. Carl prepping. Running out cards in this deck. Maybe he'll choose to reshuffle soon. You know what could potentially get Carl back in the game is if Carl does a reading into Konanima. Could be something that Pickle actually see down. Oh, never mind. Picklesword's down both focuses. Bummer. I think Pickle should probably look to reshuffle soon. She has +2 speed. She could set things up quite easily here and gain advantage. Both players check each other's discards. No, Chykka didn't do anything. Wait, wait. Did Carl just prep and then boost? Am I missing something? Did Carl just take 2 turns in a row? Uh, I'm really not sure what happened there. Sorry, I was like, my attention was diverted by something else, and then I actually don't know if Picklesword took 2 turns in a row. I think it's up for Chykka to catch that though. So if you really did take 2 turns in a row, then I really did miss it though. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna bring it up. Okay, this game state is. But now that she knows that Carl has sweep, this is a problem. Okay. Turn counter things. Okay. These players need to be vigilant. I can't keep track of everything. But it's fine. We just play on. Picklesword boosting assault, the retreats. Yeah, the thing about Chykka is that Chykka is a little sometimes kind of a slow player. Likes to look at discards often. I think what happened was Pickle prepped, and Chykka just didn't notice. He was like looking at his discard or something. And then when Picklesword asked Chykka, like, do you boost for his turn or something? I guess Picklesword also, it was also a mistake on Picklesword's part because he didn't know that the light boost was boosted the turn before. So it was basically a matter of confusion on both ends. Chykka didn't notice that Picklesword prepped, and Picklesword thought that Chykka just boosted, so that he proceeded to boost himself. When in reality, Chykka boosted turn before. Okay. Well, Carl took an extra turn, but he probably is still not going to make it out of the situation. I mean, how should I say this? It's going to be tough for Carl to get a win here, even after taking an extra turn, because Carl's economy is just slow. Um, Litchi has much better movement on her staff, and her boost give her staff a lot of mobility. Carl's going to have trouble keeping up. And of course, with a life lead, when Carl's down on life, it's tough to make comebacks unless he has a proper setup already going. If Carl is like down life and he doesn't have a proper setup, I would consider it pretty much a lost game for Carl. Hard to come back unless he can set Nirvana up very well. Um, yeah, Nirvana doesn't have a lot of good movement to speak of, unfortunately. Okay, this is on top of the staff, which makes sense. Denies the use of robbing the Kong. Carl's hard, man. I don't know why I played him. I mean, he's hard, and also I feel like his reward is not it's not all there unless again he can really set it up. Carl against newer players, I think is a good choice because newer players don't are not as mindful of their positioning, so we'll just often let the sandwich be set up on top of them and then just eat a bunch of damage. Because experienced players, it's really hard. Okay, reading is coming out. Carl only has 3 normals. I mean, 3 cards in deck. The reading is not successful. This sort of telegraphs a dive here, maybe? Both 4 wins are down. It's looking just like a dive. A dive would be lethal here, so that makes sense. So the best way for Picklesword to survive at this incoming 7 damage dive is to just play Cantata, I guess. Oh wow, no grasp has been played. So basically, so that means in the last 3 cards of Picklesword's deck, there are 2 grass left. That's funny. Carl's only way to survive this, I think, based on his hand, is just to play Cantata because of the armor. Otherwise, he's not going to survive a 7 damage dive. Yep, 7 damage dive. So we'll do. It's a trade, but it's not favorable. Remove my tempo for. Oh, actually, this does stun him. This is 8 damage. My bad. For some reason, I thought it was 7, but it is 8. So we'll leave Carl 1 HP and stunned. That's very bad. And Carl loses his light boost. I think this is pretty much game over. Maybe Carl needs to reshuffle. The boost goes before the attack. Yep. Oh, yeah, he gained. Oh yeah, Chykka gains advantage. Okay, just assaults the retreats. Does have robbing the Kong and a block. Oh, looks like Pickle Kid played Volante here. Oh, I guess on his turn he wanted to put the Mantembo on top of him and then retreat. Okay, that makes sense. He forgot to put Mantembo on his space before playing backstep. Discards Volante to sit on top of Mantembo. There are a number of ways that Chykka could close out the game here. It's possible that he could just overdrive and then put Mantembo next to him and then strike. Or he can change cards. He could do a number of things here to end the game. Carl is in a bad spot at 1 HP. It's not going to make it, this poor guy. However, Chykka is sticking quite hard about this. Really wants to make sure he wants to close out the game. Okay. CC away of 4 wins and robbing the Kong to draw 3 cards. Once 3 gauge for the Threat of All Green or 13 Orphans, I assume. Are they both 3 gauge? All Green is 2. 13 Orphans is 3. Maybe Picklesword should reshuffle here. It's the only way he can try and mount a comeback of any kind. However, Litchi has a block, so Litchi can also just parry the burst. Deus Ex Machina is such a funny astral, but it's not very good. Of course, it can win you the game if it lands, but it just requires so much gauge, and your opponent to be right next to Nirvana. And of course, if you whiff Deus Ex Machina, it's horrendous. You lose the game if you whiff this astral. Okay, doing a reading, striking with the staff on the board for extra range. I think reading grass because he probably finally drew it. Oh, red's assault. Okay. All right, and that's game. Game one goes to Chykka. Chykka's Litchi. Um, Renchan would be 2 to 4. Yeah, 2 to 4 range with the staff off the board. So it's not like you need the read to land, but reading basically guarantees a win because a wall swing won't foil the attempt, I suppose. So yeah, game one goes to Chykka. Well, the game one was almost lasting an hour, but then again, Carl games are slow burns usually. Yeah, unfortunately, Carl does not prevail. He would hit. Carl had a very good start, I would say, but I think him moving out of his own, him leaving the corner, like the corner is considered to be a bad spot, especially with Mentam on top of him. Leaving the corner actually cost him the game because not only did he lose the sandwich, it just set up a 10 damage. Is it 10 damage? Yeah, a 10 damage life swing Lichi's way and double advantage because Carl moved into range 3 when Renchan's a threat and Cantabiles are down. So unfortunate. In the corner at range 1 versus Litchi, he would have actually been safer. Renchan's Renchan's a great card, but you really need to be at a specific range to use it. And the boost also doesn't really help Litchi in that situation. So yeah, we'll see if Picklesword sticks to the Carl Clover. I didn't think this Carl Clover was a bad choice, just that circumstances led to Litchi gaining the upper hand, and the game ran away from him. And Carl, of course, is very slow at being able to come back. I mean, his Carl's comeback potential is not good when the opponent just gets away from a sandwich and has a life lead. Okay, so now we go on to game 2 versus Treasure Knights. Cyrus versus Treasure Knights. Picklesword not electing to pick Carl Clover again, which I think is very smart because Carl Clover would be horrendous against Cyrus because Cyrus is his owner. And particularly decently fast one at that. This matchup, I have no idea how it goes, but I assume Treasure Knight will be tanky and want to brawl with Cyrus at close range, and Cyrus wants to zone a bit. Though, um, Treasure Hunter will probably be good against Treasure Knights. Funny enough, because Treasure Knight's not very fast besides Scuttle Slam. And what else? Mm, Treasure Knight's projectiles are good, both decent, but they both may struggle against Siren Call. Yeah, Siren Call does it outspeed and stun Treasure Coin? Yeah, unless you EX it. And also, what's the one? Ignore Guard, Albatross Talon. Albatross Talon can actually really screw over Anchor Launch. So Treasure Knights to be careful. Both Treasure Knights specials are slow. Okay. I mean, yeah, both Treasure Knights range specials. Treasure Knight moves to range 1, turn 1, which makes sense. Cyrus says no. Cyrus is kind of oppressive in range 3 because of Tidal Whirl, which we may see being played here. However, no, Treasure Knight does not have answer to Tidal Whirl. I first thought Dive Charge would, but Dive Charge is only... Dive Charge is kind of like a weird assault. Okay, Treasure Knight opts to prep. Okay, Cyrus boosting some power. Treasure Knight boosting power. Okay. This may prove a foolhardy... Actually, yeah, this is just Tidal Whirl. Nothing Treasure can do to stop Tidal Whirl. Yeah, boosting the grass there. Not going to help against that particular card because at range 3, Cyrus could just cause you to whiff. Focus whiffs. It can make sweeps whiff. There's absolutely nothing you can do against that card at range 3 sometimes. Just a hit, push, or pull one is so good. Um, yeah, okay, just place the block. The block is 4 armor, so Treasure Knight only takes 1. Yep. So I guess boosting the grass there wasn't so bad for Treasure. It incentivized Cyrus to strike, and now Treasure can take his turn. Maybe not the worst. Okay. Picklesword clearly not valuing grasp, just discards another grass to move to range 3. Is this another Tile Whirl? He plays an EX. Oh, interesting. Okay. Ariad wins on what is on curve. Treasure Knight will be pretty happy with his exchange, however. Grass returns to hand. Okay. Oh yeah, that spike was on defense. So Treasure Knight preps. Reckless Greed. Oh yeah. I didn't talk about Cyrus's transformations, but they're all very good. Um, Reckless Greed may be his best one because Cyrus can play an instant boost and discard it to strike. So he can play backsteps or the cross boosts and just strike immediately after it becomes an instant boost. Okay, Cyrus just moves to range 4, discarding the grasp from the after effect. Treasure Knight striking. Okay. Cyrus trying to anticipating a dive. Instead, Treasure Knight was blocking to just bait out a fireball. Oh, an EX attack. Okay. This may be trouble, because Treasure Knight is down both blocks. He might have to just eat this hit or cross out. I doubt this EX dive, but it could also be that. Yep, the treasure coin will fizzle. Albatross Town hits for 6. It retreats 2 and draws a card. Okay, Treasure Knight exceeds immediately. Wait a sec. Did Pickle take 6 damage, or did he only take 5? 6 damage, 2 from Maria the Winds. Okay, I think he did. Yeah. Discard Spike to move to range 1. Albatross Talent's boost, also very good. Um, Basically allows him to play boosts from his gauge. So he can play readings and parries and such. However, they're sealed after they resolve, so um, you just have to make sure that you don't want to ever use them again on reshuffle. At least Treasure Knight has exceeded, even though Cyrus got 2 good transformations in. So now you might be able to brawl with him pretty decently. Oh, okay, dive becomes an instant boost after he takes the boost. Makes sense. I did almost forget about that as well. Okay, but he does not take the +2 speed. Plus, his speed range 1 is not that much a big deal though, unless Treasure has a range 1 spike, which he does not. Okay, plays the second dive. Well, that's both dives down. So Cyrus has 2. If Cyrus lands this hit, this is uh, a 3 gauge gain. This means it's got to either be a fast or slow. Treasure Knight can't really do much against the grasp. I feel like Cyrus would just get off the hits. But you know, both grasps were down for Treasure, so that's out of the question. Treasure cannot EX grasp or do something like that in order to stun Cyrus. This could be a very ballsy treasure hunter. Be high reward. It is grasp, but it gets a very good wall swing. Very happy to wall swing actually. That was probably the best. That was the best result I've gotten. However, Cyrus gains a ton of gauge and has 2 techs in his gauge. So basically, Cyrus can negate 2 more boost of his choosing. at the cost of sealing the dives. Actually, Treasure Hunter was not that good there. The opponent didn't actually have any gauge to spend. I mean, any gauge to discard. Trying to, again, boosting Diving Suit. Okay, Cyrus spending 2 gauge to exceed. So when Cyrus exceeds, any boost he plays can any instant boost he plays now reads +1 power and now move 1. So basically it gives him more power and more positioning. And the best part, he can basically position himself now move 1 and then strike with Reckless Greed. Memories of the Deep is unfortunately does not synergize with Cyrus's UA because they're sealed after they resolve. So he cannot. I mean, he does gain the +1. Actually, no. He can play an instant boost from his gauge, move 1, and then seal it afterwards. But yeah, does not gain the +1 power if he plays Memories from the Deep. I do not envy Treasure Knight here in this position. I think, despite the even life totals, I think Cyrus has the upper hand because his Exceed is so powerful. Only thing that Cyrus is missing is Opulence, which Opulence, if he does manage to transform it, can break some damage points. Okay, Cyrus just plays block, makes sense at range 1, very safe, and pushes 3, which is good for Cyrus. Diving Suit not gonna come into play because Cyrus didn't attack. I mean, Cyrus didn't play a strike. Cyrus didn't do any damage. And now block is engaged. He can play it. He can just play a free parry. Oh, I shouldn't call him Cyrus anymore. I should call him Lord of the Deep. There we go. Lord of the Deep. Probably looking for his third transformation so that he can become a complete monster. Charge Knight moves to range 3 for free because of his UA. Hmm. Whose turn is it? Oh, it's Cyrus's turn. So this is the problem with Cyrus. I think. Okay, just boosts his defend. Okay. Okay. I'll say his problem with Cyrus is that he's a very complex character. So there's a lot of things you could do on a given turn because he has a lot of action compression. And just like, oh, do I want to play my boost from Gauge? Do I want to seal and then seal them? Do I want to place the boost from hand and melee strike? And what range do I want to be in? So I could just set up a lot of really cheap stuff. when he's exceeded. Okay, let's turn up play redistribute. Just places if you didn't add that many cards from your hand to your gauge. Okay, he just places. I think he just placed one thing into. I think he just placed the top card of his discard into his gauge. Okay, he just placed. He just. It's just like a. Um. Did he get anything in particular from his gauge? I didn't keep track. He might have got something from his gauge with redistribute, but I didn't see it. In any case, he did get the Maelstrom chess into gauge, which is 2 force, actually 3 force, because Treasure Knight's UA. Right, Cyrus gains now move 1. Doesn't choose to strike. Doesn't choose to move either. Just places a cross engage so he can take advantage of the boost. Are both spikes down for Treasure Knight? I think they are. Yeah, EX spike is down. So that's actually really good for Chykka because Treasure Knight has no sort of armor or guard breaking capabilities. Well, I guess Angler Call is actually a thing. 8 damage is good. Basically, even a Mage Tree Cyrus can just block and be okay. Just because Spike is down. Also, since Cyrus is sitting in the corner, dives are not a threat either. Okay, just takes it and seals his dive. He cannot. He can choose to move 1. Oh, never mind. He cannot move 1 because when Resolve is a boost, he must play as a continuous boost. But as per Memories of the Deep, it's merely sealed. Okay, so I was completely wrong, and he cannot move 1 when he plays boost from his gauge. I guess that would be too good. That would be too strong. Okay, so I choose to detect both of them. But now Cyrus is out text at least. Trinite maybe should be looking to move to range 2. Or he could just play Angler Call. That would be baller. Angler Call would stop a Tidal Whirl. Salvage operation. He's just boosted. And now Cyrus cannot stop this boost. Alright. Chykka though got plus 1 power, got defend boost. If he plays instant boost, he can move to range 2 if he so desires. He has a lot of counterplay here against potential Angler Call. Oh, we're seeing a reading. And an EX attack. Okay. This could be very bad. EX assault. Oh, okay. Into Cyrus's EX assault. So that's a 7 damage EX assault. Ouch. At least Treasure Knight has 2 armor, but big loss for him. Yep, boost go into this. I guess does it matter what order Cyrus's discard is? Let's see. Not really. Siphons from the Deep is one recursion card from his discard, but it's random. Okay, so it is Cyrus's advantage. Choose the prep, makes sense. Still is looking for the Siren Call EX transform. Treasure Knight with both blocks down will not be able to parry it. There it is, he found it. Treasure Knight takes the view action. And yeah, this is not looking too good for Picklesword right now. Treasure Knight would much rather be. I don't think Treasure Knight's that great at comebacks either because he's mostly a tanky, slowish character that just wants to soak up hits. So being down on life, it's tough. Oh, we see a reading, an EX attack. Uh-oh, the reading is unsuccessful. And we have EX Symphony of the Deep or Tidal Whirl. I wonder what was the reading. Okay, the read was sweep. Okay. Oh no, the angler call was not successful. That's a pretty big loss for Treasure Knights. Oh, EX angler called. Okay, it is 4 armor. How many of these sweeps does Cyrus have? Cyrus has both sweeps. Okay. And only 4 cards left in deck. That misreading was truly unfortunate, I think. Though at the same time, Chykka could just play +2 speed as soon as he gets sweep to prevent him from being red. But it was a highly likely chance that Cyrus could just top deck sweep that last turn after he EX transformed. So yeah, crushing loss for Treasure Knight here. Having Tidal Whirl just made it even worse because it just causes him to whiff. Maybe playing EX Angler Call was overkill. Maybe just playing one will do. We'll telegraph it a lot. Um, oh, I see. Oh, I see. He wanted to read sweep so that Angler Call would outspeed and stun it because it would be 2 speed. Okay, so there was a reason why he played EX. That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, unfortunate on Pickle's part that he did not get that reading off. I don't know if Treasure can make this comeback, but um, well, he still got 15 life. Poor Minato getting eaten by a shark. I think there's various art of Minato getting screwed in the seventh cross in season two. I can't think of other card art from the top of my head, but there was at least one more somewhere that involved Minato getting hit by something. Here's getting munched. Chykka taking his time here. Performing supercomputer analysis on the opponent's discard. Might as well parry something, yep. Okay, parries anchor launch. I guess because for the boost anchor zip being a very good reload and mobility option. Striking? Interesting. So he is Cyrus may just be happy playing Symphony of the Deep on defense. Or maybe he wild swinged the sweep. Or maybe he just drew a sweep. Sweep would be very high value here for Cyrus to land. So he might just play it. He's playing Ariad wins? Okay, oh I see. Dive charge is too slow. And gets stunned because of the plus one power. Okay. Did he know? Okay, so when he retrieves the focus. I guess Treasure Knights running out of options. Did he have no possible way to cross out? There's still one cross in deck left, but I guess he was assuming that he wouldn't play a cross. Dive Charge is kind of an odd choice there, but I guess it was to hedge against one Symphony of the Deep. I mean, not hedge, but rather Symphony of the Deep would only do 3 damage, not be enough to stun it. I guess that was the reasoning behind that play. Treasure Knight should probably be looking to reshuffle soon. He's really running out of options. Alright, there's a sweep that what Pickle was looking for. Takes the reaction. Oh yeah, he has Opulence now. Right. So his continues he gets +2 power essentially when he plays it instant boosts. Okay, never mind. He gets to move one with his UA. Wow. So I got debated. Okay, so he can actually move one from his UA when he uses Memories of the Deep. I thought he couldn't. Should I just stick it to range one? Only has 3 cards left. Maybe Cyrus could just play sweep here and be happy. Unless he crosses out, maybe. If he crosses out, then Dredge Fury becomes a very real threat. Dredge Fury can just end the game right there. Actually, Dredge Fury is only 8 damage. Well, 8 is still a lot. And that could easily be 10 damage with boosts. Oh, this is just Treasure Hunter, is it? Is it Treasure Hunter? How many Treasure Hunters are left? There's still another. The plus 2 speed Treasure Hunter would be very high reward. Oh, cross is successful. Okay, so it's just a sweep. It was just a sweep for 1,000,000 damage. Well, 7 damage. Okay, spend the sweep for force. Okay, wants to stick to him range 1. Thing makes complete sense. Doesn't want to get hit by Dredge Fury. And we'll just basically bet it on the wall swing. Desperate play from Picklesword here, but I think it's the best he can muster in this kind of when he's down life and resources. Chykka looking through Picklesword. Why is he looking at this card? Picklesword only has one known card. Seems kind of odd. Picklesword has one known card, and the wall swing could literally be anything. He could just look at, he could just basically look at Treasure Knight's references if he's worried about wall swing. Chykka only has one card left in deck. He can verify it if he wants, I think. Shouldn't be no harm in that. Picklesword is going to wall swing regardless if Chykka decides to strike. Okay, he chooses to reshuffle. Picklesword chooses to prep. Okay, parries Anchor Launch, denying him of his good boost. Chykka playing very passive here. Despite a life lead, just chooses not to strike, just chooses to just sit at range 2 and threaten Symphony. So Symphony would not be good, that good, not really be good anymore because he's not taking discard. Okay, so you got +3 power. Sorry, +4 power. Come on, Chykka, strike into him. You know you want to. Who cares he has +2 speed? +2 speed. Just do it. Okay. Moves one that draws a card. Becomes +1 power. And he's discarding the +1 power to strike. So this strike has 6 power. I mean, not 6 power. +4 power. Turns out I probably should just cross or die. Is this what's happening here? Any trade that Treasure Knight, Treasure Knight try to go for a trade, it might just end up very badly for him. Hmm. Now it's Picklesword's turn to think. Top position. You cannot lose the strike. Cannot afford to. Okay. Is the dive. Lives another day. Doesn't eat a 8 damage focus. It's still hard to see how Treasure Knight can win. Cyrus is kind of close to decking out though, oddly enough. Only 9 cards in deck. That's very weird. Is it possible Treasure Knight could win by deck out? Could Treasure Knight have enough armor to just survive? Suddenly, that's becoming a distinct possibility. I think Chykka has to try to find a way to end this game quickly. Okay, Silver Shadow moves to range 4. Moves to range 5? How does he move to range 5? Wait, Yeah, Cyrus should be range 4. Yeah. Range 3 and then range 4. Yeah. Okay. EX Dredge Fury, it seems. Oh. Okay, chooses. He has to discard it to strike. Yeah. Yeah, using Reckless Greed, striking. Decides to move to range 3 since he cannot have range 5. That was a bit confusing. Cyrus is a confusing character, man. EX Scuttle Slam. Wait, why EX? Couldn't he just have played one Scuttle Slam? Maybe EX was a bit overkill, but still gets the job done because it prevents Dredge Fury because Dredge Fury whiffs, though he still gets the before effect. He can recur stuff from his gauge. EX Scuttle Slam was unnecessary though, right? Unless Assault. It could not have been EX Assault. It could not have been. I mean, one Scuttle Slam would also beat EX. No, there's no EX Dive. Yeah, I don't know why he played EX Scuttle Slam. I think maybe that was not needed, but it's okay. Still gets the job done because the Ultra whiffs. Is this the 2 gauge Ultra? I mean, does DP? It is. Does trade. But now, Chykka, bad trade for Chykka, but you know, he gets to reload his hand with the hit effect, so he's fine. Okay, these are become his known cards. Maybe that'll make it easier for them both. Or you can copy paste. Hmm. Okay. Right now the grasp is a vulnerability. If Trishana has a reading, you can punish that grasp. Suddenly this game is winnable for him? No, does not have a reading. Okay, Cyrus. Ugh. Cyrus can loop Symphony of the Deeps, which is hilarious. Actually, Cyrus may not have to worry about decking out if he could just loop Symphonies. To get back options, get back Symphony of the Deep and land it again. However, it is only 2 damage, so It will do very badly again in trades. As we could see, a simple spike did more than that. Okay, Cyrus boost grasp, makes sense. Diving suit gives Treasure Knight plus 3 armor. Right, that Fierce basically reads plus 3 power because of Opulence's transformation. This recording may take a while. This is a battle of sheer endurance. Tark can do a lot of things here. He can parry. He can ebb and flow into a strike. He can play any any sort of instant boost into strike. Um, Parrying is actually really good for Cyrus because he can play parry, peek at opponent's hand, and then discard it to strike because parry becomes an instant boost. Chykka doing supercomputer analysis on the 5 cards Picklesword's discard, figuring out how to exploit the rest of his 20 cards left in deck. I'll actually just seek a strike here straight up. Not any kind of boost or anything. No, surely he's going to be playing a boost. There we go. Can move additional space. And then you can discard a strike. Range 4. Turns out move 2 now strike is pretty good. And that's the power of Cyrus. Maybe Treasure Knights will be happy to just play a block here. He may be trending Albatross Talon. Now Albatross Talon would be too risky, unless he has a read. It would also be overkill because this reads +3 power. Anchor Launch does have... Actually, okay, Albatross would make sense because Treasure Knight has armor. So if you play Albatross, then he'll be able to... Treasure Knight will be able to soak up the armor. Soak up some damage of armor, but he would still get stunned. Just be a good old dive, even. No, actually, no, dives are down. We need to remember dives are down. Okay. Thinking long and hard about this. What is it? Oh no. It is a Dredge Fury. This Dredge Fury is how much damage? Okay, so he wanted to cross out thinking that it was Albatross Talon or Aria the Winds. But unfortunately, it does eat a Dredge Fury. Diving Suit will negate a little bit of damage, but is this enough to kill actually? Yeah, Dredge Fury will do 6 power plus 3. It's 9. 9 minus 3 armor, it'll take 6. Yeah. Oof. Tough. Yeah, Dredge Fury makes a lot of sense here, just because it's on curve and range 4, and it'll stand out anything that Treasure Knight tries to play in retaliation. Anchor Launch will not be enough armor guard to stop it. All Treasure Knight can do is play Diving Suit and try not to die. You know, this is looking like a lost game now. For your boy Treasure. Force the wall swing. It's a block. Lose the angle call, which you don't want to see. It's a cross. Lose his way to go in, which you don't want to see. This is the Siren Call. Is this the second Dredge Fury? Is that a thing? Actually, that is a thing. Siren Call or Dredge Fury. Yeah, looking, it's looking grim, boys. It's gonna just block. Did he not get a block? That sucks. And that will be game. Indeed, no blocks. Where are his blocks located? The last 2 cards of his deck. That is a tragedy. Wow, that was a phew, close game though. I would say a lot of things did go wrong for Pickle, but he still actually put up a decent fighting chance against Cyrus. And yeah, well done. It was a 2-0, but the scoreline doesn't say everything. Definitely a great set, though it took a while. So I'm gonna stop the recording. Thanks for watching.